This video is an update on my Tramadol detox, I guess it is. I'm doing pretty good. I don't know how many days it's been. I'm not that type of what do you call it, a detoxer. I don't know what you call that person, but I don't really keep track of days. I kind of in this instance listen to my body and how it feels. I know that I want to get off, and I'm not going to say I have extremely strong willpower, but I have enough willpower that it's greater than my want to feel relief from the discomfort that I feel. If that made any sense. I wanted to make this video because I saw a comment. Somebody commented on my video, and it blew my mind. They asked me if I had trouble urinating, like properly, like keeping a constant stream, and what else? Itchiness. What else? What else was the other one? Like where you kind of like not lose time, but you get kind of just spaced out. Not really spaced out. Excuse me. But where you just kind of stare at something, and before you know it, you've been kind of just, kind of in a stupor for the last, hour. Stuff like that. And let me bring it up while I'm making the video. If I tried to screen record at the same time, I bet I would set my computer with burst into flames. But literally, I got chills when I read that, because I had never really put the two together. There was another thing that the guy said, guy or girl, whoever. Let me pause this before it starts talking. Eating. Do you find that you have a desire to eat? I have gained over 50 pounds since I moved back. Since I moved in with my mother, and really most of my Tramadol use has been here, and I have gained so much weight. The people that I knew in Florida, where I used to live, wouldn't believe how fat I am. It's ridiculous, and I used to not look at food the same. I would eat because I had to eat to live, and now I eat because I'm bored. I eat. I want to eat. And I have gained a ton of weight. And I had never really thought that it had anything to do with the Tramadol. But he said asked me if I get itchiness and things like that. I do. I get incredible sense of like crawling on my skin. It's kind of embarrassing, but if you look at my face, this is HD, so if you maximize your view, and to put it in HD, you'll be able to see my face in all its glory. Let me see right here, like this spot. I get these spots on me. I'm human. I get like blemishes and stuff. But what's not normal is, and up here, is that I will become like OCD about it. I feel like a blemish or something below the skin, and I will just, not even thinking about it, will just sit and scratch at it. And then before long, it's become infected, and it's like a freaking sore. And it's embarrassing to me. And my friends used to comment on this in Florida, that I look like a freaking junkie. Right now I'm fairly, it's under control. And maybe that has something to do with me mentally making the decision to get off this stuff. But anyway, it kind of blew my mind. I had never really put all that together and thought that maybe it had something to do with the Tramadol. But I'm looking online. Back a year ago, when I started researching this stuff on YouTube and on the internet, there was like no information about it other than what the drug companies were to tell you about, Ultram and stuff. But now there's tons of videos on Tramadol and people having withdrawals and stuff like that. And like I said in the previous video, all my friends that had been addicted to Oxycontin, thought it was ridiculous that I could get addicted to Tramadol, and a lot of people are now commenting that it's a worse withdrawal than it was from Oxycontin or some of the other harder narcotics. It's pretty interesting. I personally believe that Tramadol is not an evil drug. It's not a bad drug at all. It really did serve a purpose in my life. Like I said before, I used to be a heavy drug user, and one beneficial effect that Tramadol has is that it kind of slows me down, like the gap between my impulse and my impulses and my actions is greater, and sometimes I'll call that laziness, but it's something else. It's different. You just I'm not sure how to put it, but it slowed me down. I'm sure that if I had not been on it, I would have relapsed many more times in the course of trying to clean up than I did. So it was beneficial in that regard. It keeps me from becoming extremely bored. And if you've ever been on drugs, you know that boredom is like the number one reason for relapse. And it keeps me from, I'm bored, but I'm not miserable. Like where you just can't find anything to do and you would just rather set yourself on fire than do anything. And I don't feel that. And I worry a bit about cleaning up and feeling that again. The boredom and how I just cannot stand to be bored. But I think I've grown a lot since I started using Tramadol, and even before, I was clean before I started using Tramadol. And I think I've come to realize that boredom is just a natural part of life. You're not always going to be doing something that's exciting, and let me pause the video real quick because for some reason I'm about to run out of space. 1 second. Alright, I'm back. Turns out my the software I'm using to record with was recording to the card as well as the computer. And in the format I record in, you can eat up 16 gigabyte card pretty quick. So where was I at? What was I saying? Got another comment on my first video I did about this, and I'm seeing that this drug is really affecting a lot more people. And the guy said that in all honesty he loves taking Tramadol, and I can really understand that. Totally can. It has a lot of beneficial effects, and that some of those are like just being able to. Sometimes you can focus better, but I'm finding that either maybe it's because of a tolerance, that my tolerance has gone up. I've been on this stuff for like 4 years. Somehow I've managed to keep my level of intake of this drug kind of nominal. Although at times I was taking these tons of it. Every time you turn around, I was popping another pill. I'm not like that anymore. I don't take the drug recreationally. I take it so that I don't get sick. But anyway, what was I saying? There's a lot of benefits to it, and that's one thing about addiction is that you have to. I remember trying to clean up off of cocaine, which was my drug of choice in the past, and they would always ask me what benefits are there of the drug, and I would always think that was like some kind of blasphemy or something to admit that I was getting any benefit from a drug that I hated taking. But there were benefits, those being, in that particular case, is that it makes you feel better. It makes you feel good. Yeah, even though it's very short-lived, it makes you feel good. And until you're able to really be honest with yourself, the chances of you quitting are not very high. And that's why I think I have the ability now is to quit this stuff. Um, is that I'm honest. I know right now I want to take some, and like I showed you in the other video, I've got a full bottle of them. You know, I could take them if I wanted to, but my want to be free of it is greater than my want to feel better right now. And that's something that disgusts me with people today, and myself included, is that everybody's willing to forgo their future to feel good now, to have what they want right now. And it's something that really it disgusts me in myself when I see it. Spending money you don't have, just leaving the future, up in the air, thinking that it'll somehow work itself out, and that's just not the case. If I keep taking this drug, eventually I'm going to reach a point where I can't get to it, or and it's going to be terrible. I'm going to feel awful. When I come off of a large dosage of it, I'm going to have great depression, and I'm going to be a lot more likely to go back to it as soon as I'm able to. That's something I've learned, is that if you cold turkey it, you get off of it pretty quick, but the depression is a lot greater. Like I've cut down from about 400 to 600 milligrams a day to now I've only taken one pill today. It's 50 milligrams, and while I feel bad, the depression isn't there. I don't know why. I would expect that I would be depressed, and I was in previous attempts to quit. I say attempts to quit. It was I ran out and couldn't get it, and this was years ago. And the agony of detoxing off of 1,000 milligram habit a day, I can't even tell you. It was terrible. I was calling friends up that I knew did other pills, and I mean using every trick I could to try to get them to give me their pills, Oxycontin, whatever. Give me your pills, And anyway, luckily I have been able to step down, and I think a lot of that is just age. I'm only 31. I probably look a lot older, but I had a long, hard life. Anyway, you get older and you're not as willing to take risks and do stupid, impulsive things as you were when you were younger. Some of the things I did in the past to get drugs or just to have fun, I would never dream of doing now, because I know full well that it's going to lead to something bad. Back then I was more able to, even though I knew back then it was going to lead to something bad, I could just turn that off and whatever. I think they call that magical thinking in psychology. But anyway, this is an update. Now my freaking battery's fixing to die, so I'm going to end this, charge my battery, and I'll do another video. I hope this is at least anybody who's watching this will see that there are other people out there that are in a lot of the same position they are. And I'll get off this. I know that. So anyway, thanks for watching. I'll do another video soon.